So, picture this. You're in a conversation. You're hanging on every word, right? But what if I told you that's only a tiny part of the picture? Today, we are diving deep into the silent language, those powerful, unspoken signals that show you what people are actually thinking.
Because get this, when we communicate, the words we actually say, well, they only make up about 10% of the entire message. So that begs the question, what in the world is going on with the other 90%? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Yep, you've heard that right. While someone's mouth might be telling you one story, their body is often screaming the absolute truth. You've seen it, right? The hands that tremble just a little when asked a tough question, the subtle ways someone leans away when they disagree, or that smile that just never quite reaches the eyes. Our bodies leak the truth our words try to hide. The real conversation, it's almost always nonverbal.
Okay, so what's happening here? It all comes down to this kind of battle raging inside our heads between two different parts of the brain. On one team, you've got the limbic system. Think of this as your honest brain. It's ancient, it's all about instinct, and it controls our gut reactions. It literally doesn't know how to lie. And on the other team, the neocortex, our logical brain. It's the sophisticated part that handles language, strategy, and yeah, it's a fantastic liar. That conflict right there is the key to reading people.
To really see how this plays out, let's look at our first case study, Princess Diana. Her story is just a masterclass in how authentic, subconscious body language can communicate a truth so powerful that words could never, ever touch it. I'm sure you know exactly the look I'm talking about. You've seen it in a million photographs. Diana had this signature pose where she'd tilt her chin down but keep her eyes looking up through her lashes. Now, this was so much more than just a good camera angle. It was a profound, nonverbal signal that basically defined her entire public identity.
And here's why that one move was pure genius. That posture, you see, subconsciously signals vulnerability. It's a non-threatening state that triggers this deep, almost primal protective instinct in anyone who sees it. With one simple gesture, Diana was telling the world something she could never say out loud. I feel fragile. I feel isolated. And in doing that, she turned millions of people into her personal psychological shield. That bond became unbreakable.
So we know the body can tell a painfully honest story. But what happens when someone learns to fake it? What if these incredibly powerful signals are being carefully engineered just to deceive you? Which brings us to our second case study. Let's talk about Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of the infamous company Theranos. Her story shows us the dark side of all this, the deliberate cold manufacturing of a persona for one reason and one reason only, to manipulate.
There's a term for this, dominance engineering. It's basically the art of consciously designing everything about yourself, your voice, your posture, even how often you blink, all to bypass the logical, critical part of someone's brain and appeal directly to their gut instincts for trust and authority.
Holmes had two main tools in her toolkit, and they were chillingly effective. First, she adopted this weirdly deep, totally artificial baritone voice. And second, she developed this intense, unblinking stare, where she would almost never break eye contact. These were not natural quirks. They were carefully chosen weapons. So why did this work so well? Well, she was hacking our biology. You see, on an evolutionary level, we associate a low voice with physical size, with dominance. It's a mental shortcut for power and competence. Then you combine that with a stare that never wavers, which projects absolute conviction, and you've got a lethal combination. Holmes wasn't just trying to win arguments. She was using these biological hacks to completely override the rational minds of some of the smartest investors on the planet. And it worked.
Okay, so the stories of Diana and Holmes really show us the two sides of this coin, right? The honest signal versus the engineered mask. So how can you and I tell the difference? How do you protect yourself from being manipulated? This is your shield.
It really comes down to three pretty simple rules for reading any room. First, always look for the discrepancy. If their words say, "I'm thrilled to be here," but their arms are crossed and they're leaning away from you, believe the body, not the mouth. Second, beware the mirror. If someone is mimicking your own gestures a little too perfectly, a little too quickly, that can be a red flag they're trying to manufacture trust. And third, question the voice. Just because someone sounds confident and has a deep, steady tone, don't let that stop you from asking the hard questions. So the next time you're in a meeting or a negotiation or even just chatting with a friend, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Who am I really listening to here? The mouth or the body? Because honestly, the answer just might change everything.